Today I'm going to go through step by step, hopefully, of the Korg Poly 800 12db 24db switch mod. Just bring up the schematic here. So basically, what this involves is soldering a couple wires to the filter chip, soldering a wire to the anode of the capacitor here, and then wiring up a switch, and then we should get both 12 dB and 24 dB filters. I'm just going to show you my current setup here of my Poly 800. It has currently 3 mods and a bunch of repairs done to it. Over here I got the Moog Slayer filter mod, cutoff knob, the resonance knob, and the FM filter mod, which modulates the filter frequency with DC01. The repair job that I've done basically cleaned up this pot here because it was really scratchy. I'm gonna have to go do a tuning mod here, but it's just a little over 0 cents there, and that you can see here. Basically, I gotta tune the pot inside to get that perfectly in tune. And the other repair job I did here was with the 6 button, which was notoriously bad, but I just resoldered the bunch of resistors on the keypad board here, and now you can see it works perfect. So now I can hear those glorious 6 sounds and use those glorious 6 parameters. Easy to take apart the Poly 800. Basically, it's just a bunch of Phillips screws. The tools I'm going to use with this here is just my soldering iron over here, some wire strippers, a desoldering iron, a couple Phillips screwdrivers, some snips, and my multimeter over here, and oh, and I have a 3-way switch here. It's probably better to use a 2-way switch. I got some thick ass wires on here, but I'll probably use some smaller gauge wires. Here. And I'm going to open her up. One thing that I recommend is when you're putting this thing back together after doing mods to it, it's best to either leave these screws out until you've done all your mods and you confirm that your soldering's good, your wiring's good, everything works, because or at least put them in just loosely tight, because you don't want to, you'll be probably opening up this thing many times if you're an amateur like me with soldering. So let me just open this up here. Oh, put the phone down here. Oh, it seems like I missed a screw. Let's just get that out. You gotta keep them in a nice little tape roll there. Fuck, Jesus. Okay. Flip this around here. So here's the inside, the Poly 800. Here's the main board. Basically, you can see here, this is the filter chip that we're going to be soldering the switch to. This here, let's see here, this capacitor right here is the one that we're going to be taking out. I'm actually going to be replacing this with a new one. And what else do we got here? Oh, we got our BIOS chip here. This is a new old stock that I flashed with a pretty recent OS version. And possibly here's some tuning pots here. Here's one of the white ones, this plastic one here. I believe these are some tuning pots as well, so, and one here. So I might actually do a tune-up job of this too, to see if I can get that tuning slider in the middle where it's supposed to be. You can see here, here's my bang-up wiring job for the 3 mods that I showed you at the beginning. You can see the wire I'm using here is super thick, so this thing barely gets back together, and underneath there you can see that the pots are pretty close, but I don't think the wires touch each other, so we're pretty good there. And here's the some of the fallout from troubleshooting the 6 button here. You can see lots of flux and burns and bad soldering jobs there, and I believe this diode pack here, yeah, it wasn't resistors, it was some diodes over here that I resoldered and pushed back in to fix the 6 button. On the forums and stuff, they were saying that this might be a bad trace or something, or a bad button, but I replaced the 6 button with a new button and it still didn't work. But I realized if I took the board out and I bent it from the middle, it would work, so that kind of led me to believe that there was a bad soldering joint or connection with one of the components. So once I took the solder off these guys and pushed the diodes in, it made a kind of click sound, so they actually got pushed in, and I resoldered them, and yeah, that fixed the 6 button problem. So what I'm going to do here is actually take the main board out and flip it around so I can actually take out this capacitor here and solder the wires here to the I believe it's 5 and 6 connection. Let me see here. Yeah, to pin 5 and 6, and then we'll wire it up to the switch. Main board out, all you need to do. First thing is to desolder this grounding wire here from this cardboard plate here, because that'll give you some trouble when you try to flip the board around. The other things obviously is just to disconnect all of these cables here. These 3 over here. Oh. And just to take out the screws all around. So I'll do that now. This foam over here is, I kind of just left that in there. So for my last surgery here, so I have no idea why that's in there. So take that out. So I got the screws out here. I desoldered the the ground. So that's off. And I'm going to flip the board around here. Let's see. Make sure not to fuck up your previous mods. Alright, so this is the back of the main board. Kind of complicated in the sense to where to find your stuff. You can see here though where these burn marks are, because I attempted this mod before, but I think when I switched to the new filter, it just gave me a white noise. So the white noise pin, I believe, is number 7. So let's see here, 1, 2, oh, where are we at here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I believe what I did is probably globbed a bit of solder between 6 and 7, and it just gave me white noise when I switched to the second filter. So I'm not going to do that this time. And the capacitor, let's see where the capacitor is here. Capacitor is the second from in the middle. So I believe this is the capacitor here, I believe. Focus. Where is it here? Yeah, it's gonna be this guy here, this 3 triangle thing on the top of my finger. So what I'm gonna do is remove that capacitor and replace it with a new one, and as the diagram spec showed, I'm going to leave 1 pin out so I can solder another wire to it. I'm also going to solder 2 wires to pin 5 and 6 on this side here, and then we'll hook it up to a switch and test it before we put everything back together and do a sound check. So I'll do that now. As you can see here, it took me longer than expected. But I got the 2 wires on 5 and 6 here. I'm still using the thick wire because I'm kind of lazy. On the other side, I got it hooked up to my switch here. On the other side, you can see that I got the new capacitor in. With a wire connected to the anode here, and then connected to the hopefully the filter switch. So I'm gonna connect this up here and plug everything in and see what happens. Again, flipped over, got the switch here. I just tested it out in the headphones, and it does seem to work. Oh, look at that, my solder connection just fell off. So yeah, I'll have to do that again. But the 12 dB filter, I'm not sure if what I'm listening to is 12 dB or 24 dB, but it seems like one is just a little bit lower in volume. I guess that's the maybe the 12 dB slope or something. I don't know, but I'll give a demo at the end here. What I'm going to do, since my wires aren't long enough, and I'm too lazy to make new ones, I'm going to drill a hole in the side here, and the switch should just pop out of the side. It'd be better off over here on the top of the case, but again, my wires don't reach, so I think that should be fine there. Final product here. Final mod job. The switch on the side. If you're using a 3 switch here, the middle here is off. So when I turned this thing on, I had it in the middle, and I thought I broke something because no sound was coming out. But I believe up here is the. Let me take a listen. Yeah, so I believe the top here, top switch is the louder one, so I'm thinking that's the 12 dB, and the bottom here is the 24 dB. So they don't sound really different. It's just really, when you sweep the cutoff here, you can, it's a bit more gentle in the 12 dB filter and a bit more aggressive on the 24 dB. So I'll do a little sound test now. Alright, so here's the demo with all 4 mods. or all three mods rather, the Moog Slayer, FM 800, and the 24 to 12 dB switchable filter. So I guess we'll start out with the 24 dB filter. I believe that's what it is. Let's hit record here. Oh, let's undo that. Alright, I believe that's working. Play. So I believe this should be the 24 dB, or yeah, 24 dB. That's whatever focus here. That's a no resonance filter sweep. Take it down an octave here. Okay, I'll try the same thing with a bit of resonance. Bring it down an octave. Obviously I have a lot of delay on the sound too. And we'll add some FM. We'll modulate the filter with DCO1. You can get some nice vowel-y sounds with this. Some nice farty noises. Alright, so let's try with the other filter here. Go over here and we'll switch it. You should probably notice a volume decrease, which means this is probably the 24 dB. The top one's probably the top of the 12 dB. So let's try this one now. You'll notice it's basically the same, just with a different slope. There's no real tonal differences, I guess, or anything major. Got a big chunk of resonance here. I think I noticed the volume drops a lot more with this one. Maybe back that down a bit. Alright, so we'll add some FM grit here. Yeah, a lot quieter on this one. I'll switch it over to the other one here. Anyway, I think my filter just died, or my resonance just died, so I'm gonna have to go in there and wiggle a couple cables around, so that's the mod.